Trump is serious. His team is saying, yep, Canada, Greenland, Panama Canal, they're all part of a broader plan, the master plan brought forward by President Trump, and we're just weeks away from day one and implementation starting soon. You can see the Washington Post reported about this. We're also hearing things from the Hill trying to contemplate why Trump is targeting Panama and elsewhere. And we've got some interesting things percolating, including some debt problems, and Trump just came out and endorsed someone for Speaker of the House. We'll see who that is coming up. But here is what the story tells us, saying Trump is serious about these three properties. They're nice pieces of land. Now, in the past several weeks and before he is being sworn in, Trump has now been coming out swinging, saying he's threatening trade wars with two of our close neighbors, talking about taking over Greenland, Panama Canal's coming back, and Canada is going to be our 51st state. Welcome. Less than a month before his inauguration, Trump, who vowed to end foreign wars and made peace through strength previously, now crafting a new America First foreign policy, defined by antagonism towards everybody who is not playing in America's interests. Trump's pre-presidency tactics regarding Greenland, Panama, and Canada aren't likely to result in massive change. We'll see. Canadians and their leaders aren't likely to be receptive to dissolving their country. And of course, the United States doesn't want a big blue, ice cold California that votes blue. Greenland's prime minister has said the island's not for sale. And Panama said every square meter is ours. That's a lot of talking. We'll see. For any other modern president, especially one who campaigned on ending wars, not starting them, threatening to encroach on our allies' sovereignty would be extremely unusual. U.S. foreign policy during Trump's first term was marked by near constant departures from diplomatic conventions. Yeah, he doesn't do things like you guys want him to. And prior international commitments. For Trump, training his imperial instincts on our partners could make things delicate out there. Yeah. Now, but his team is insisting that his comments are part of a broader strategy. Yes, it's real. World leaders are flocking to the table already because he's already making his promise to make America great again. And when he takes office, foreign nations are going to think twice before they rip our country off, and America will be respected again. And as a result, the whole world will be safer. An overarching mission of countering Russia and China is the common thread tying together all these properties: Canada, Mexico, Greenland, Panama. Trump has not explicitly made that argument, but they're saying, yep, it's about countering Russia and China. This isn't just slapdash, said some person who spoke on. There's a coherent connective tissue to all of this. Trump knows what levers to pull and what guardrails there are, and he's in a position of power to utilize those levers, and he's doing it. Earlier this month, Canadian officials announced a plan to increase spending on border security and canine teams and AI to capture the drugs. The team pointed out that this is an early indication of Trump's strategy being successful. They're like, look, Canada's already playing ball. Not everyone is convinced, though. Some Republican representatives told MSNBC that it could deteriorate relationships. Even if it's just negotiating, it could be causing tensions. Trump's focus on the Western Hemisphere, he's not focused on Russia and China directly, indicates he's less convinced that we can go into other theaters, and so he's focused on our theater. On Sunday, while announcing Ken Howry, a co-founder of PayPal and others, going over to Denmark, Trump says, we're taking ownership of Greenland. For the purpose of national security, said Trump, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. He's actively pushed this idea since 2019. This is not a new, random thought. The idea came from an old friend who pitched the plan outside of his first term. Now, although it sounds a bit hilarious, the importance is real. Mike Pompeo, Trump's second Secretary of State, visited the region shortly after the U.S. opened its first consulate there. Something is probably going to happen with Greenland over the next 10 to 15 years. They might go independent, which is why the U.S. is hedging for the future. In a separate series of social media posts, Trump also accused Panama of ripping off the country, saying there are no Chinese soldiers in the canal, said someone. It's nonsense. There are no Chinese soldiers there. Okay, so stop getting hysterical over it. Trump has also been focused on Panama for a long time as well. And some people are saying this is like the Richard Nixon uncontrollable madman theory. Like, what's Trump going to do? He's just going to take over everything. None of this would have sounded weird in the 19th century, okay? Saying Trump has embraced a more forceful approach in U.S. diplomacy, appearing to lack patience for the sinuous blend of cooperation and consent. Trump's focus on the Panama Canal is ironic because the passageway was a focal point, and some people calling it an informal empire, but the visions are real. And they're talking about it very seriously. Although many of Trump's allies brush off the threats, some in his orbit have real concerns whether he might cross the line, whether a 25% tariff on Mexico or Canada might cause a deterioration of relations. We'll see. A conservative foreign policy advisor with insight into his thinking said that while he believed that Trump's was mostly posturing, that it could be a hazardous approach. And we'll see. He's got a bunch of people who are being appointed. Rubio and Rep. Michael Waltz from Florida, and it is part of the plan. So you can see here, The Hill was also saying, why is he doing this? They don't know how serious it is. The Panamanian issue is China. They're dominating the Western Hemisphere economically and financially, and we've been standing by watching, said a former Trump campaign official. Panama has controlled the canal, which connects the oceans for 25 years. Trump has complained of exorbitant prices and being ripped off. Arctic is another key region. Greenland, also rich in natural resources. People talking about rare earth minerals and how China has a stranglehold on that, and how expanding into other arenas might be a good counter to China. And China has apparently launched a new mysterious aircraft that is a fighter jet that is like their 6th generation whatever. Here's what it looks like. Are those what are flying over everybody's heads over in the East Coast? Don't know.